Hey everybody, my name is Shay and I would like to talk to you about spinal cord injuries. First off, I would like to say that everyone is an individual first, meaning that everyone is different. So these are just my suggestions, but they may not work for everybody. All right, let's get into it. Some common characteristics. For the physical, there are two types of injury. There is complete spinal cord injury and incomplete spinal cord injury. For complete spinal cord injury, this means there is no motor or sensory functioning below the level of injury. For incomplete, there could be some motor or sensory functioning or both below the level of injury. There is two types of paralysis. Tetraplegia and quadriplegia are the same thing. And then there is paraplegia. For tetraplegia, it is injury to C1, C8. This impacts some of the upper body and the lower body, whereas paraplegia is an injury to T1 to S5, and this mainly impacts the lower body functioning, and the functioning of the upper body is normally intact. If you want to see more information about this, you can see Appendix A at the bottom of this handout. For emotional or behavioral, this population could have some anxiety or depression, so that's something to watch out for. For social, communication, and cognitive characteristics, there is none. This population is cognitively intact. For the needs per domain, physical, you could be assisting with transfers. This isn't necessarily doing the transfer yourself, but it could be assisting the person who is doing the transfer. So making sure that there is nothing in the way, nothing to get hung up on, caught on, making sure the wheelchair is in the right place, things like that. You could also be walking alongside the horse to steady the rider, or they may need assistance with shifting or repositioning in their chair. That is just maybe lifting them up so they can scoot their butt back to the back of the chair. For cognitive, there's none. Social, establish an appropriate relationship, greet them when they come in. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you today. How's your day so far? Just a friendly greeting. For emotional motivation, just making sure that they're having fun and it's an enjoyable time. Behavioral, there's none. Therapeutic communication strategies. For the leadership guide, how would you best direct the rider towards their goal? You establish those goals together. This population is cognitively intact, so they should be helping out with setting goals for themselves, not you setting the goals for them. You can also use verbal directions, talking to them, explaining things, or you can use visual. I'm a big visual person where you show them how to do things, like this is how you brush the horse, this is how you approach the horse, things like that. For facilitation strategies, teaching by invitation. So this is using language such as, come with me, let's go do this. We're going to go do this, and you go do it instead of saying, would you like to do this? It kind of gives less of a choice, and really it motivates more people to just go out and try it, because normally once they try it, like, they have a good time. Partnership style, what is the best way to create a relationship? Just be friendly and welcoming, like I said before. Hey, how's it going? Chit chat, have a normal conversation. Some precautions or contradictions to look out for. This population could be using a catheter, so just making sure that line for their catheter is not hung up or caught on anything. They could also have spasticity. This is where the muscles contract and it can be hard to move the muscles. So it's just something to watch out for. Autonomic dysreflexia. This is when the message cannot get to the brain because it gets to the injury and it's just reverted back down. And this causes the body to stress, and it can be life-threatening. But it could be something simple, just as them having to use the washroom, but the message can't get to the brain to tell them that their bladder is full. Normally the first sign of this is a major headache. So that is one thing to watch out for. Pressure ulcers is another thing. It's just from improper padding, which their wheelchair should be properly padded before you come. Just making sure that they're not resting on something very hard for a long time. Another thing is temperature regulation. They might not have sensation in some of their body parts, so they might not know that they are getting too hot or too cold. So just making sure that they adjust for the weather. And for volunteer motivation for physical mobility, you could perform a warm-up or stretching before any physical activity. This will help with the spasticity. And I am going to give you a little bit of a demo to how to do a warm-up, so I'll be right back. All right, hope you're ready to get warmed up. I got my lovely volunteer here, my dad, and we're going to show you how to do a seated warm-up. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to do them for 20 to 30 seconds, but I would recommend to do them for that long. To start out, we're going to do marching arms. And then we will do arm circles to the side. And switch ways. And then punches to the ceiling. Some may need help with this. One way you can do it is by just making sure you ask them if they need help. Do you need help?
Sure.
And is it okay if I touch you?
Yes.
So you hold underneath their elbow and at their wrist and push up. And once you're done with that side, you do it on the other side. After that, we're going to do some knee tapping, where you tap your knee and then out. And to get a bit of a cognitive aspect, you can do double taps, double out, double tap, double out, or crisscross and out, crisscross and out, crisscross and out. And then our next one is doing the stretches. So looking from one side to the other, holding it to the other way, and then ear to your shoulder, ear to your other shoulder, looking up, looking down, and then our next one is reaching up, putting your arm on your hip, and tipping over like a teapot. Some may need help with this, so grabbing their wrist and under their elbow again, and pushing it across. And you do this with both sides. And then the last one is reaching as high as you can, high, and letting it go. And that's a warm-up you can do while seated. Hey, I hope you're all warmed up and stretched out from that. To continue with the volunteer modifications for motivation, you can see Appendix B if you want to learn more about some lower body stretchings. I have linked a video there that is a great example of how to do them. Some cognitive cues. You could model the activity, going up and doing it first, showing them how to do it while they watch, or you could just do it together. This is how we feed the horse, and just handing the bucket to the horse, kind of thing like that. Behavioral tips, some positive affirmations when they're reaching their goals or when they're doing something good, making sure you're saying like, wow, that's awesome, great job, like you're nailing it, kind of thing. You could also making sure that you're recognizing effort. Maybe they didn't reach their goal that time, but you've seen that like hard effort that they were really trying to reach it. Making sure you're doing great, you're trying really hard, that's awesome. Some emotional motivators. You could put on their favorite music while you do the warm-up, maybe get them motivated to have some fun during that day. And this will also help establish relationship, just learning their favorite type of music. Some social motivators: active listening, making sure you're having eye contact with the rider when you're talking to them or when they're talking to you, and making sure you're listening to what they're actually saying. Also using person first language. Person first language is saying the person and then the disability. So it would be those with spinal cord injuries or a person with a spinal cord injury instead of a paraplegic person. You say the person first and then the injury. And lastly, I put on some support groups, the Spinal Cord Injury Alberta and Vancouver Coastal Health. They had some great information and great videos on their website, so if you need more information, I would definitely check them out. So yeah, I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.